Welcome to the Fit Dad Nation podcast, forging strong fathers and raising a stronger generation. It's time to get up or shut up with your host, Steve Roy.
Hey guys, this is Steve Roy, the host of the Fit Dad Nation podcast. Welcome to the show. Thanks for listening. Before I get into today's show, I just want to take a quick moment to invite all you dads who are listening right now and who are ready to start taking action on reclaiming your health and fitness and becoming the best fathers and best men you can be to join our free online community. And the best way to do that is to apply to our private Facebook group, which can be found at fitdadnation.com/community. So as you know by now, I coach dads for a living, and it's something that I have a tremendous passion for, and I'm incredibly fortunate to be able to do this full time. You know, I've been part of so many clients and community members' transformations and life changes, and it's been just awesome to see. So, you know, for me, it's very difficult to see men in our community struggling in their day-to-day life. You know, it's almost like a lot of these guys are wandering aimlessly around the internet looking for solutions to, you know, their weight problems, their health problems, their fitness problems, diet problems. And the issue is, for every problem that we have, there are thousands of people ready and willing to sell you a program, a diet, a supplement, a product, whatever. And unfortunately, you know, most of this stuff is not only unnecessary, it's just pure bullshit. And it's highly frustrating for me. You know, the fitness industry is a good marketer's dream. I mean, if you're a savvy marketer, you have the money, you have the copywriting skills, you know how to get into somebody's head, you can sell anything. And that's the problem. And so I'm going to tell you today, you know, getting fit, it's not complicated. It's really not. You know, the fitness industry wants you to think that it's complicated, so you'll buy their stuff. But, it really just boils down to a handful of things. And that's what I want to talk about today. So I've got 8 things that I want to share with you today that if you follow these just 8 principles, I promise you're going to have no problems getting fit, getting lean, getting stronger, and maintaining it. And again, I'm not trying to pitch you on something. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I want to make things easier for you. You know, in my experience, the easier that things are when it comes to health and nutrition and fitness, the more likely we are to stick with it long term. A lot of the stuff we see out there is just super confusing. I have a tendency to kind of muddle things up a little bit as well. And I've just seen what happens when things are just made super simple, shit gets done. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Okay, so number 1, and this is probably the most important on the list. Stop using fucking excuses. We all have busy lives. Right? I've got a million things to do, never enough time. You know, you have a career, a job, a business. You've got kids. You've got commutes. You've got family stuff, pets, mortgages, SUVs. You've got a million things to do, right? You're coaching games. You're going to practices. There's always something to do. I mean, dads are busy. It's just what it is. But the key is to not use any of that as an excuse, because trust me when I tell you this, there is always time for yourself. There's always time to do the things you need to do to get fit and healthy. You don't need 2 hours in the gym. You don't even need an hour in the gym every day. If you could dedicate 20 minutes, 25 minutes a day to exercise, took care of your diet, took care of your lifestyle, right? Got enough sleep, you know, covered the basics with water and proper nutrition. That's the baseline there, right? If you can just cover that and not use excuses as to why you can't, you're going to be so far ahead. So that's number 1. You have to get rid of any excuse. And I'll say there are instances where you just literally don't have the time, but that's extremely rare. I mean, I have met guys, especially single dads, that have 2-3 jobs that are just bouncing around, just barely surviving, right? In those instances, yes, it's going to be very difficult to try to carve out some time for dedicated exercise because you're so busy just trying to live and make a living. And that's a different conversation because that's no way to live. But you have to get rid of your excuses, or else you're going to struggle your entire life. Number 2, make your body a priority. So you might think that this sounds selfish, and I've talked about this many times before. You might think it's selfish to put yourself first, to put yourself before your wife, before your kids, before everything else, but it's not. I mean, we as men, we love to be martyrs. I lived that way for many, many years. I just lived for everybody else in my family, and I didn't take care of myself. I was at the very bottom of that list, and I suffered, right? And when I tell you that it's not selfish, I'm being honest with you here, because when you make yourself a priority, you start taking care of number 1, every single part of your life gets better. And so when I made that switch after I was separated and divorced, and I started actually making myself and my health and my fitness a priority, my entire life improved. Every part of my life improved. And most importantly, I became a better father. Why? Because I was more engaged. I was with them. I was present with them. I had more energy. I wanted to do more things. Before that, it wasn't uncommon to have no idea what I was going to do. I would wake up on a Saturday morning with them and have no plans and just basically sit around the house. I wasn't taking care of myself. I was eating a crappy diet. I didn't have the energy. I didn't want to do anything, and it wasn't fair to them. So your kids, my kids, they deserve the absolute best father they can have. And the only way, in my opinion, the only way to do that is to make yourself, your body, a priority. Number 3, your life, my life, it's hard. It's fucking hard. We have hard lives. We're not put on this earth to just breeze through it, right? We're going to have struggles. And I mean, just me personally, I struggle every day to keep my business going, right? I struggle every day to keep my emotions in check when I see my girls. And, I just see them on the weekends right now. And it's extremely difficult. It's very emotional. And it's hard when I'm home all day, because I work from home, not to sit here and eat a box of fucking Pop-Tarts. I mean, it's just hard. So, life gets way out of control. My life was, 10 times harder when I was in the divorce process, going through custody battles, ending up in court, like stress, difficulties, right? You have your own shit. I know you don't even, you probably don't care a whole lot about my story. That's fine, because this is about you, right? So your story, your life, I'm sure you have dozens of struggles. You may even think your life is incredibly hard for whatever reason. I'm sure there are plenty of things that are going on that are really testing you. But you have to just move forward one day at a time, right? Our lives don't owe us anything. We can't sit back and expect just good things are going to shower on us. We're going to be fine. We got to go out there and take it, right? If we sit back and I believe me, I've done this before, actually for a very long time, is I felt sorry for myself. I would be, crying myself to sleep. I mean, I was a mess, and I was feeling bad and hoping, why can't my life be better? Why can't things get better? And it doesn't work that way, right? Life doesn't owe us shit. We have to take it. Okay, so you have to get that in mind, right? Don't wait for anything. If you want something, and you all want something, and specifically what I'm talking about is with your health and fitness, right? Very few of us are probably where we really want to be long-term, fitness-wise, health-wise, body-wise, confidence-wise. You have to go out there and take it. You have to make it happen for yourself, because it will never happen on its own. Number 4, put work in every single day. And by work, I mean get your ass moving. A lot of you guys have desk jobs. I did as well for 11 and a half years. It sucked. I mean, seriously, I got up from my desk, and I'm not even embellishing this, but probably 10 to 12 times a day at least, right up out of my office, left the building, and walked because I worked in a downtown area. There was a lot of things to kind of see, and there's pathways and stuff like that. So I'm sure people, were like, what the hell is this guy doing? Is he going out for drugs? Like, what the fuck is going on? But I got up so much because just sitting there was driving me insane staring at a computer. So you obviously don't have to do that. But what you do have to do is put in work. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to hit the gym every day. You don't have to do cardio every day. But what you need to do is take extra steps, take the stairs, walk as much as you can, light stretching, okay? Get more movement in, okay? That's your goal. If you're moving a little bit, move a little more. If you're moving a lot, move more than that, okay? Just think about it that way. You don't have to go crazy on one end of the spectrum or the other. Just improve a little bit every day and just kind of push yourself. And you also, and this is critical, and you've obviously heard this many times before, especially for guys in their mid-30s, 40s, and beyond, training with weights shouldn't be optional. I mean, there's nothing that's going to help us more with our lean muscle tissue and our hormones, testosterone, than training your ass off and lifting heavy weights until they aren't heavy anymore. Okay, so you're gonna have to train hard. I don't care what program you do. Obviously, I'd love to help you and run you through one of my programs, but there's a billion of them out there. You already know that. So train hard, sweat hard, and just get after it every day. So a couple days a week, I typically would tell a guy 3 to 4 days a week of strength training, 1 or 2 days of some kind of conditioning / cardio work is probably plenty. With that aside, put in extra work every day. Stretching, walking, stairs, park far away from the grocery store, whatever it is. Move more, step more. And believe me, you're going to want to be moving more freely in 10, 15, 20 years. Okay. And if you don't start now, that's not going to happen. You're going to be a hunchback. You're going to be tight, locked up. Your hips are going to suck. Your hamstrings are going to be super tight. You're going to be, hunched forward. That's going to happen. That's coming for a lot of us that aren't actively taking care of our mobility and movement right now. All right, number 5. I love this one. Eat like you actually give a flying shit about your body. The problem is we don't. The typical American diet, I can't speak for other countries, but the typical American diet fucking sucks. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. It's made up of 50 to 60% processed carbohydrates, low-grade proteins, trans fats, high fructose, corn syrup, artificial ingredients, industrial oils. I mean, it's terrible. And, you've seen it, but it's literally everywhere. That's part of a problem. You can't go anywhere, not even your own house, and not see. Turn on the TV, it's everywhere. You take a drive to the store, you see 3 fast food restaurants, a Dunkin' Donuts, a Krispy Kreme. Food is just there for the taking. I read somewhere that the U.S. on average produces 4,000 calories worth of food for every person in the U.S. every day. And that's fascinating to me, and I believe it absolutely. We're so overfed, it's ridiculous. So obviously we know why, we're whatever the rates are, 35, 40%, overweight, obese in this country. It's getting worse, not better. More programs are being sold, more diets are being sold, yet we're still getting fatter and fatter because, first of all, people are looking for shortcuts. People want something quick. They don't want to work. That's why quick and easy sells. That's why huge transformation photos before and afters, they sell. Because people think, oh shit, well that person just lost 65 pounds in 3 months. I can do that. No, you probably can't, right? You have to, first of all, use your fucking head. I mean, it's not that easy. Another reason why I despise so much of this business is people sell quick and easy. They sell these shitty ass products that don't work. Okay, I can put a phenomenal testimonial on anything and it would sell. I could create something called the onion diet, where all you can eat is onions for your carbohydrates. That's all you get to eat, just onions. You can eat whatever else you want, but just onions. Guess what? You're going to lose weight. Why? Because you're not going to be eating any carbohydrates. That's what's being sold out there. It's ridiculous. So think about all of what I just said, and then realize you have to care about what's going in, because you may not think about those McDonald's cheeseburgers or that Domino's pizza, that big gulp of Dr. Pepper or Mountain Dew. You don't think about those things when you're having them, right? I mean, first of all, they're delicious and they're like that for a specific reason. But what happens in 10 years when you feel like absolute shit all the time? It's because you just spent the last 10 years guzzling all of that garbage, and now your body is saying, dude, you fucked up. So seriously, start acting like you care about your body. Okay, I talked about this one a few weeks ago in an episode, and it's number 6. It's finding your why, as in, why is it important to you to be healthy and fit, right? You might want to look great naked. Nothing wrong with that. You might want to stop being a fat ass. That's a great reason. Maybe you want a better intimate relationship with your wife. Maybe you want to be able to keep up with your kids on the softball field or baseball field. Maybe you're just tired of being that guy that always wears his t-shirt at the pool, and you're sick of hiding your fat rolls under your t-shirt. You want to take it off and not feel like a whale. Great reasons. There's no right reason. There's no wrong reason. It's very personal to you. The only thing I'll tell you is don't jump to, I'm doing it for my kids, because that's an easy out. It sounds good. It's PC. If someone asks you why you're doing it, for my kids. But think about it. It doesn't make you a bad person if you're doing it for aesthetics. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you spent your whole life being the chubby guy or the chubby kid, and you want to be lean and toned and muscular and ripped because you're going to feel awesome about yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. But it really is important to take the time to figure out what that reason is for you, because that's the thing that's going to get you up out of bed in the morning. That's going to be the thing that's keeping you consistent with your diet and keeping you on track with your goals, right? When it's we're in a world where it's so easy to get off track. There's a million things trying to pull us off track. Your why is going to keep you on track. All right. Number 7, be consistent. You need to be mind-numbingly consistent with your exercise, with your lifestyle, and your nutrition, right? Consistency beats intensity every day of the week. I mean, you can't go all out for a few weeks or a few months and expect results, right? It just doesn't work like that. Can you make progress in the short term? Sure. But if you're serious about being lean, fit, healthy in the long term, you have to put in the work and you have to be consistent, okay? A lot of people will ride highs and lows. They do a program for 8 weeks or 12 weeks, or they do a diet, and then it lasts a couple of months, and then they go, oh, that diet was okay. I lost a few pounds, and then they go back to normal eating, and then they gain all the weight back. So you have to find out what really works for you, and this is not the conversation for this, but you have to find the approach to eating, for one, that really works for you. There's no quote unquote right way to eat. It's whatever works. If you like the paleo, go paleo. If the keto works, go keto. If you like high carbs, eat a high carbs. Whatever works for you. If it's healthy, it's getting results, and it fits into your lifestyle, go with it. But you have to be really, 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 really consistent with it. And with your exercise, just make it a habit, schedule it like an appointment. Just get in there and do it. I mean, I've been to gyms for the last 25 years, and I remember seeing guys year after year, same guys in there. And, that's the consistency piece. Unfortunately now you go in and it's new faces. You see the same people, a few people over and over, but a lot of them, it's all short term, a couple months, and then they lose focus. They get demotivated. They don't see results and they quit. All of those things. That's the thing. If you're not consistent, you're just going to struggle your whole life. Right? You can't just yo-yo diet. You can't do one program for a little bit and then scrap it and then try something else, and that didn't work out so well, and then go try something else, right? Find what works, stick with it, constantly push yourself. That's where the results lie. Lastly, number 8, and this is something that I think about often, and I realize I'm 47. I'm kind of in touch with my own mortality, and I realize that life is incredibly short. Of course, we could go out, we could get hit by a car, get in a car accident, and die or anything like that. But you have to really think about your life and the quality of it, because, more likely than not, most of us are going to live to, 70s, 80s, even 90s. I have some pretty good genes in my family. So my grandmother died at 99. Think about that, right? You can't obviously bet on, oh shit, well, I could get killed tomorrow, and then it's all not worth it, so I'm just gonna live for today, right? If you go with that mentality, there's nothing I can do for you. But if you're thinking about the long term, think about it. I mean, at 47, that's not a young man. I mean, I feel pretty young. I'd like to say I look pretty young, but I'm a good bit into my life. I think about 15 years from now. I mean, just 15 years from now, I'll be 62. How many 62-year-olds do you know? And I know quite a few that are just like hobbling around, hunched over. They look 80, and it's because they've spent their whole life not taking care of themselves, not moving. And I realize it was a different generation for those folks, but we have the opportunity and plenty of information and resources to not have that happen to us. So think about that, right? So when you're out doing your thing, keep that in mind that, in 10, 15, 20 years, you could be faced with all those issues if you don't take care of yourself. Okay, so think about, I don't want to get all doom and gloom here, think about dying. For me, it terrifies me because I feel like there's just so much that I want to see and do, and it's important. It's very important to me personally, and so it's something I think about often. So I want to take care of myself the best way I can. So in that time, I'm not that little old man that is doing chair exercises, getting up and sitting down, and that's all I can do. Right? I want to be moving around. I want to be active. My father, he's 74, and he had been playing sports, basketball, 2-3 hours a day into his 70s, full court. He just chose to live a very active life, and I think that's the right way to do it personally. So that's what I have for you today. So seriously, guys, these are 8 simple things, but I want you to think about each one because they're really, really important. And I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this show, and I certainly hope that this helps you.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, if you want more information, check out the Fit Dad Basecamp group on Facebook. And don't forget to stop by fitdadnation.com. Until next time, keep kicking ass and taking the next step. You can do this, Dad.